Hollywood actress and humanitarian Angelina Jolie has once again used her global platform to bring attention to a deeply human crisis unfolding far from the United States. In recent days, she spoke out about the tragic experience of a young Iranian child whose mother was killed amid widespread protests in Iran. Jolie's message is resonating with audiences in America and around the world, not just because of her fame, but because it underscores a broader issue of civilian suffering in times of political unrest. The situation began when protests erupted across Iran in response to social and political grievances, drawing international attention. These demonstrations were marked by heavy crackdowns, confrontations between civilians and authorities, and, tragically, loss of life. Among those affected was a mother who was killed, leaving her child to navigate grief and uncertainty at a tender age. The child's story became symbolic of the human cost of repression, and it was this child's plight that Angelina Jolie chose to highlight. In her statement, Jolie expressed deep concern and empathy for the child and others in similar circumstances. She described the situation as heartbreaking and emphasized the need for the international community to pay attention when innocent lives are caught in the crossfire of political conflict. Her words reflect a long-standing commitment to advocacy on behalf of vulnerable populations, a commitment that has led her to serve as a goodwill ambassador and special envoy for global humanitarian causes for many years. Angelina's remarks didn't just focus on the individual story, but also on the larger pattern of suffering that affects countless families in regions experiencing political upheaval and violence. She spoke about how children, above all, are often the silent victims of such crises, forced to grow up amid fear, loss, and instability. For many observers, her comments offered a reminder that behind every headline, there are real people with real stories that deserve compassion and support. Her message drew significant attention across American social media platforms and in news discussions as people reflected on the broader implications of the events in Iran. Many fans and followers praised Jolie for drawing focus to an issue that might otherwise go unnoticed in the flood of global news. Viewers pointed out that when people with influence speak up about international human rights concerns, it can help amplify the voices of those who are often unheard. Critics and commentators alike have noted that Angelina's actions reflect a growing trend among artists and public figures who see their role not just as entertainers, but as citizens of the world with a responsibility to advocate for justice and empathy. Whether through speeches, social media, or humanitarian missions, these voices are helping center conversations around dignity, human rights, and the protection of civilians caught up in conflict zones. For many in America, this moment serves as a reminder that the world's challenges don't stop at national borders. Hearing about the impact of violence on a child in Iran can start reflection about similar struggles, whether in Syria, Yemen, Ukraine, or elsewhere. Such stories have a way of breaking through distances and making abstract statistics feel personal, urgent, and deeply human. Angelina Jolie's focus on this child's tragedy invites Americans to connect with the global community on an empathetic level, to recognize the universality of grief and hope, and to consider how each of us might contribute to raising awareness or supporting humanitarian efforts. In a moment defined by rapid news cycles and constant distraction, her voice aims to pull attention back to the individuals, especially children, whose lives are altered forever by events beyond their control. As international conversations continue about protests, political change, and human rights, the stories that Angelina highlights remind us that at the center of every crisis are people whose lives matter. Her message encourages ongoing awareness, compassion, and a shared sense of responsibility for the well-being of vulnerable children everywhere.